Okay, quick review of a retail purchase of the Oceaneva, let's see what they call it here, Deep Marine Explorer 6 GMT Grade 5 Titanium 6,000 meter diver GMT. Stumbled on this a few weeks before they shipped. It was a pre-order. I read up on them. I couldn't find much info because it's a micro brand and this is a pre-order only. So I love the functionality of a dive timer GMT. I like the Pepsi bezel inner chapter ring, I guess they call it, for the GMT. Was kind of intrigued by this, 19.4 millimeter thick, chunky armor-plated sandwich you wear on your wrist. But I jumped in and ordered one. So I'm not an influencer. I'm not one that got a pre-production early. That was the only information I could find was early influencer stuff from months ago. So this is actually in hand, purchased retail. So far, really interesting little watch. As you can see, it has a nice polish on it. That's polished on titanium. So they're doing something right. 6 millimeter crystal and 19.4 millimeters overall. So it is thick. There's a little helium escape valve for your super deep sea stuff. And I guess it's supposed to be kind of a nod, a competitor to Rolex deep sea James Cameron kind of thing, where it's a 6,000 meter watch. It's definitely not a Rolex, but it's kind of a cool micro brand. You do get a Traveler GMT out of the deal. The box it came in, sort of a little Pelican case, challenge coin, key ring, strap removal tool. This is number 37 of 50 apparently. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the presentation box. After you've seen things from Omega and others, even along jeans, this is a little bit underwhelming. It's kind of, to use the parlance of the current generation, it's kind of giving Invicta, and that's not my favorite. But the cool thing is that I haven't mentioned so far is it is titanium. They did a nice job polishing, and it really isn't like carrying around 5-pound jog weights. It's a very wearable watch, seems to be, with the exception of the thickness. The thickness is the thing that jumps out at me way more than the weight. The face is black. The hands are a sort of gunmetal gray. As you can see there, if they're not really directly lit, they kind of disappear in the background. So if I had to gripe, I would say I wish it had bigger hands and maybe white outline hands. Big chunky watch like this needs big chunky hands. I think they should have gone with big thick white hands, maybe something inspired by like the arrow hands of an Omega or something. The photos online made the inner chapter ring look really bright, and I thought it was going to be like obnoxious painted on colors, but it's not. It's sort of a subdued dark blue anodized and that kind of cool red anodized. So it's much more subdued than I thought it was going to be. It has kind of a cool subdued vintage look to it on the inside. I dig it. The other negatives, I would have to say, the strap is kind of also, it's nice. It's acceptable. It's mediocre. I'm kind of a low to mid-tier guy. I don't have a bunch of Rolex, a bunch of AP. I have a couple Omegas, things like that. Longines is a favorite brand. And the strap on the Longines, the deployment rubber strap, is wonderful. Love it to death. Wish they had something like this on the Oceaneva. So I'll probably be swapping the strap out maybe for a sailcloth deployment or a rubber deployment, something like that. Drop me comments with ideas where to get one of those. Oh, you see some bubbling here. That's because I haven't taken the little protective film off of it yet. Just got it. There's one on the back here too. You can just barely see. Just pull the watch out. Again, I'm a retail buyer, not an influencer or a watch guy. Really, just a guy that likes watches. And it's 6,000 meter GMT diver, which is kind of the new trend. in functional watch designs. Kind of cool. You got an inner chapter ring that runs your 24-hour. And then you have a diver bezel that gives you that unidirectional click for a dive timer. It is a chunky monkey. This thing is 19.4 thick. There's your little, I think it's a helium escape valve, something like that. Bunch of stuff I like about it. I'm a big fan of the Dive GMT. I think it's very functional for a tool watch, daily wear kind of thing. This thing's big. They did a great job polishing. You can see the shine there. I mean, grade 5 titanium, so they can polish it. I'm not sure what I was expecting. My brother has the Deep Sea, which is real thick like this, but much heavier because it's all steel. This thing in titanium is, so far at least, I've only had it a couple days, but it's very wearable. The bezel, 120 click. I don't have ASMR set up, so you'll just have to suffer that as a sound. But solid, feels good, positive clicks, it works. Gives you that unidirectional function of a dive timer. I'm 56 with terrible eyes, and I can read that date window. The hand for the GMT is crisp, and it points right at the chapter ring. There doesn't seem to be any alignment issues. Other little gripes. The hands, you can't hardly see the minute hand on here. The hands are a dark gunmetal on a black face. So when you, let me get this back down, folks, a little bit. So unless you have it shining at you like that, they're very hard to see against the face. This is a big, chunky, clunky tool watch. This needs big, clunky white hands. Take a clue from Omega and others and make them big Arrowhead or big Mercedes or big something. But it definitely needs clunkier hands to be able to read it quickly. And let's see, let's get into hacking it. My other gripe is that, screw down crown, pretty nice. It definitely pops out with authority, but the very first click to give you the Traveler GMT flyback, which is awesome. It's a legit Traveler GMT. You really have to go slow and gentle. You'll pop right out to hacking before you intend to. So first click is a little soft. Second click, now you've got the watch hacked. You see the second hand's not moving, and your GMT, hour, and minute hand are all moving. You can use the flying hour to quick set the date. And now I've got the watch completely screwed up where I had it completely hacked and was going to check what kind of time it kept over a week, but I'll have to do that again after the video. So, so far, it seems to be a nice little micro brand. I'm going to keep it. I got into it right. It's kind of cool. It's very thick and chunky. It's sort of, man, I wish Rolex would make a titanium deep sea. Not that I could afford it, but this is what Rolex should be making, a titanium GMT diver. So have some other ones coming. Have a cool, a little release coming from Timex shortly, this GMT diver. And with a little luck, I'll get my Longines back from service. That should be another story. So that's just some first thoughts. This is my first Oceaneva, first micro brand. It kind of caught my attention because I do love the GMT diver functionality. And I was hooked by the whole story about how they test their watches. They're one of the few brands that actually straps them to submersibles and robots and stuff and sends them down into super deep, crazy places. So it's kind of cool. Overall, nice little watch. I hacked it up and was gonna wear it for a week and see what kind of time it loses, but now I've messed with it for the video, so I have to do it again. Other than that, looking forward to seeing some videos on the other ones, the other colorways that they have. This one has the black face and not the fully loomed dial, which to me just looks kind of Timex mall watch, so I didn't want it. But again, if I had gripes about it, I would say the hands should be a different color for clarity of reading it quickly. The band is kind of okay, and the stem, the notches in the stem to pull out to set the GMT or the hour hand could be a little more positive. But overall, I like it. It's an interesting watch, and at that price point, I'm keeping it. And it scratches that itch of a new watch. So there.